Mm.
Hey, Diane. Hello, Carol. Well, we're not just fixing to leave this time.
Mm.
I am beat and I didn't do that much today. Hey, Mr. Cookie.
Mm.
Damn. You'd think I'd been up for 2 days. Hey, James. How's everybody doing tonight?
Mm.
Damn, I quit yawning in a minute to go to sleep one. Mine should have been busy and I just didn't have to get up and go to get up and get after it. What you been up to, James? Getting ready to go? Uh-oh. What you get into, Cookie? I gotta hear how you got hornswoggled into that. Getting ready to rock and roll, huh, James? Well, you gonna make Thanksgiving out here in Texas? Or you're stopping somewhere else, aren't you? You got what, 1,700 miles to make? Well, no, you're in PA. Well, I got a pair of them too, Cookie. What are they wanting to see? What's the most accurate? $19 drive. Well, you telling me you were gonna drive straight through, James? I think you're gonna find out that Model 60 is most accurate. Mm. Well, you be careful driving like that. I used to do that a lot. I used to be able to drive 24 hours before I really got to getting loop legged if I was rested up. But I don't do that anymore. You drive 10 or 11 hours, that's enough. Yeah, you go, James. One of the old truckers where you could steal jack with the damn logbook. Well, I might have to break mine out and do it too, just for grins. Get a pretty day but no wind. Yeah. The last stunt I pulled like that, James, I was in El Paso, Texas, and I had to go to Lake Charles, Louisiana, and I fired up. I didn't shut it down till I got to Lake Charles. Hello, Miss Amy. How you doing tonight? Okay. You're gonna laugh at this. I've got another 22 single shot that'll outshoot both of them. A busy day, Amy. How far away are you shooting? What time did y'all open up, Amy? Let them every day. If I get to go to Ironwood, they that's 4 hours from here. I might have to stop by and uh, eat a steak or something with you before I head. I'll be ready to take a break. Why should we change now? Are you gonna have any prime ribs ready about 12 o'clock? There you go. Cookie noticing things already. So what time did you usually have it ready? Any idea? I guess a steak would do. No, I imagine if I get to go out there, I'm gonna be rolling. And I'm trying to make up my mind if I'm going through Abilene or going. There are 3 ways you can go. It'd be probably the last day in November or the first day in December. It'd be about my luck. You'd probably be in New Orleans then or something. No, you're probably right. The last day of January, isn't it? Hello, Miss Jane Bray. Are you excited, girl? Yeah, Diane's right about that. Be the last day of November, January, the first day of February. Well, did you enjoy the trip, Jane? You just led bad plumb on down there, didn't you? Hello, Miss Fairy Dust. You got to see some pretty country coming down through there, didn't you? He's a good guide then, huh? Well, are you in Quartzsite? Well, did your training of your husband hooking and unhooking and backing and all that, did that do you any good? Or did you just, once you got your nose in the wind, just went straight forward all the way to Quartzsite? Okay. I bet you enjoyed that trip. Everything but pulling up to a gas pump. Yeah, Cookie, go back and get the yeah, yeah, gas is high in Canada. That's gonna be something else if I buy this van and get rid of most of these motorcycles. Ooh, go from 70 miles a gallon to 15 miles a gallon. That is gonna hurt. Go back and get the specs on how far you're gonna do that and what the targets look like and what they're wanting. They just want groups. Okay, there you go. Hello, she devil. Well, just don't pop too quick, she devil. Hang around a little bit. That's something you don't see here anymore. 7-Elevens. Hello, Chris. How you doing this tonight? Yeah, I'd have liked to seen that, Diane. Yeah, that's the way it was here. I had to run to the store, but it wasn't raining, but it was a little bit nippy. Come on, you popped off, Diane. Tell the rest of the story. Hey, Daniel. Hey, you used to be all over the place in Texas, and you don't ever see one anymore now. I think you've already got your money's worth, Jane. Hello, Ariel. Well, it's bad or kicked you out and put you on your own yet, Jane? Uh-oh, there he is. Yeah, your ears ought to have been burning. You ought to have heard what Jane was saying about you. Ooh, that sounds good, Ariel. Come on up here and tell me about it. Hello, Phil.
Hello.
Hello, Ariel.
Yep, I'm eating these maple flavored walnuts.
I never have tried any of those.
Yeah, they're pretty good. Hold on. I don't know why my phone is acted up here. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I just had to switch my phone around. They are pretty good.
I tell you
This is
what, I
my
don't ever think
bag of them.
I don't ever think to buy walnuts. I'll buy peanuts and cashews and almonds, but I had to buy some walnuts.
Yeah, and I'm like, I just decided to buy them because I was I was in a rush trying to get out the grocery store last night, and so I
What
decided
part,
to buy something healthy.
what part of the country are you in, Ariel?
The South in Mississippi.
Mississippi. Okay, I thought I heard a little southern twang there.
Yeah, it's like in the summertime, the southern part of the U.S. gets very hot, very
Well,
hot.
I'm from Texas. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, I'm an hour ahead of you. I think Texas
Yeah,
is sitting at 9:49, 9:44 right now. I'm sitting at 10, almost
yeah,
11 o'clock.
yeah. Well, I'm at
So
1044. I'm,
okay,
oh, well, Ariel's gone. Are you partial to pecans or pecans, Cookie? Hey, JW, how you doing, girl? Shit. Cashew chicken. I never heard of that. Cashew chicken. Well, a pecan is what they got down south, and a pecan is what a Mexican pea's in. Oh, oh, Bree's having to sit on both hands. Hello, Bree. I like pistachio too, but I don't never think of mine. You don't like pecans, huh? We're getting all the troublemakers in here tonight. JW and Bree and Diane, Chris, Cookie, and Jane for sure, Phil, and of course Mr. Badge, the professor. I should name this one Trouble with Ron, that's for sure, with this crew. Uh-oh. Here's one that caps it off. Hello, Janice. Man, Chris, you made me in there choke. I ain't touching that one, Perry does. Well, that burned, Miss Janice. Some hurt your feelings, didn't I? Yeah, when you're asleep, not having bad dreams, Janice, you just dream them a lot. Janice has just got that Aussie sense of humor, that's all. Janice said she tries to be a good girl, but more than that, she just tries to be good at it. All right, go get it, bad. Sickums. Jane, where you at, Jane? Oh no, Phil. Now you gonna start dressing in a skirt? We're coming to take you away, ha ha. Jane getting nervous now. Yeah, there's one on there, but I'll give you another one. You might have been here, JW. Hey,
Where do you want me to start?
well, just pick your own poison.
Well, this is a good story, though. Like, you don't see very many good stories around lately, but this is a really good story. So, probably not everybody knows, but Jane Bray and her friend Simone, they found out I was coming to Arizona, so they asked if they could tag along, and I said, "Yeah, sure, of course, why not?" They'd never been here before, so when you're traveling, what the hell was it, 2,600 miles? Yeah, 2,600 miles, I think it was. And with somebody that never done it before, it's quite the undertaking. But anyway, so we left Vegreville on Friday and went down to Jane's, and then we got everything all checked it all over, and it all looked good because Richard had it all set up anyway, so it was pretty good. So, and now you got to remember that Jane has never done this before. She had never towed a trailer and drove a truck, and the boot is a standard. So we got a lot of stuff going against us here. But anyway, so I said, "You're all right with it?" "Oh yeah." "I was driving around Empress for about 2 weeks, so I got this. I think I'll be all right." I said, "Okay, well, let's try this." And I got to tell you, like, I'm going to cut to the end of the thing already. Like, right out of the ballpark. Like, I would swear to God she'd been driving for 10 years. Honest to God. Like, it was unbelievable. But anyway, so I says, "Okay, well, what I'll do is you go," because it's a mechanic thing, right? If you're a mechanic, you always take up the last truck. So if something breaks, you're always there. I says, "You guys go ahead." She says, "Well, I don't know where to go." I says, "Oh, it's very easy. Drive 41 to the border." So she drove 41 to the border and got through the border, no problem at all. And then now what do we do? I says, "Take 79 or 87 over to Great Falls." And they just drove it away. It was great. Got it into all these little gas stations. Well, Jane had a truck and a trailer, and Simone's just got a van. So, but now you got to remember, like, like I can't emphasize it much. These people have never done this before, so this is all new to them. Being on the hobos in the winter and all that stuff is all new to them. They've never done it. So the thing I said before we left Canada, I says, when we leave Canada, we are not going to pay for a campsite, a motel, or nothing. And they all looked at me like I had three eyes and all that stuff because they'd never done this before. So we left Canada, and of course, we're the first night we left. We ended up in Great Falls, Montana at Town Pump. Great big parking lot. There's tons of room. It's cold though. We're talking like hovering around 32, 24, 32, somewhere around there. And so they all get through it. Not a problem. So the next day, where are we going now? I says, "Well, let's go down and we'll try to make it to McCrimmon." But that was like 7, 8 hours of hard driving, like really hard driving. So we ended up in. I had to think where we ended up the second night,
Don't ask me. I have no idea.
Anyway, it was McCrimmon. I gotta remember. I'll tell you about. But anyway, we stopped the second night, and it was a little bit warmer, not bad. But when and the thing about it, I drive and you get a window and you go in it. We had a window of 2 days, so 2 to 3 days. We had to be through Vegas by the 15th because of the F1 race, and Vegas would be just a crazy thing, right? So we're going down there, and we stopped at it's just Idaho Falls. It was just past Idaho Falls, and we pulled in. It was Dubois. That's where it was. Dubois, Montana. Cool place. They had this great big parking lot there at the information center. Like, it was huge. It was like huge, huge, huge. And we parked in there, and we got everything. We ran the generator all night because Simone didn't have no heater in her, so we used a little heater, and Jane just needed to keep the batteries up. It was all good. And Jane was using one of them. I never really got into a Jackery or nothing, but Jane's got one, and she was using it. I was watching it. The thing lasts pretty good. So anyway, we got out of Dubois, and we carried on, and I was trying to make it to
St. George.
huh?
St. George.
Yeah, St. George. But then we got this thing about Vegas. I said, I don't want to really go through Vegas. So we ended up in
We didn't want to go through Salt Lake City.
Salt Lake City. That was a whole new ball game. So anyway, we left Dubois, and I says, okay, Salt Lake City. They never did this. So whatever I told them, they took for granted because they didn't do it. So they didn't know. I said, okay, we're leaving Dubois. We're 2 hours out of Salt Lake City. I says, we can't pull over at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I says, let's nail it. Let's nail it. And I hate Salt Lake City. Believe me, I hate Salt Lake City. There's 2 places I hate, Salt Lake City and St. Paul, Minnesota. And I says, okay. I says, do you want me to take the lead or do you want to take the lead? I says, when you hit Salt Lake City, you get in the second lane from the outside on the right side and just drive it. Don't move, hold your speed, and don't let nobody cut in front of you. Oh, you better take it. We'll hold on to your back bumper. So they did. And they come through Salt Lake City and we never even stopped. And I said, holy crap. And they're right with me. They're like, these guys are troopers. Like I tell you, they're really troopers. So we get through Salt Lake City and we stopped at place that's outside there, a Flying J, and we parked all the, what was it, not Dupa, Nephi, Nephi, and it's in Utah. Very good Flying J, awesome Flying J, easy to get into. Lots of room, nice people. It's a great, great Flying J. And so I get out of there and we carry on and we're down the road. And I'm thinking, I says, El, we don't want to go through Vegas. I just don't want to do Vegas. Because Vegas, on the best of time, you're going to be hurt. You got to hit it exactly the right time. I says, and with the F1 race, so I said, well, hit the map there and see what you come up with. So we were coming out of, we were just leaving in the morning from that Flying J at Nephi or whatever it was. And I was going to take him to Black Rock Road, which is just south of St. George. And it's a BLM, because I'm trying to show him all these BLM spots, right? And it's a BLM spot, and you can camp there forever. Nobody's going to say anything to you. And then I said, Elle says, this looks kind of interesting. I said, what's that? She says, 89. I said, 89? Oh, that runs from Canada to the Mexican border. Why? This goes down around by the north rim of the Grand Canyon. I says, well, that's that one that me and you were always going to take, but we never did. So, I said, yeah, well, let's do this. So I said, okay, well, let's try this. We'll go the bypass around there and we'll bypass. And on Google Maps, which I just use it for the information, I don't use it to watch it. It said that it was the same distance of going from Nephi to Page as it was from Nephi to Vegas. I said, wow, we don't have no traffic. So we get on, I tell you, like I've always said this from day one, ever since we come down here. I says, you guys down here have got it made in spades. I tell you, some of the friggin' roads you got around here are just gorgeous. Like you can't even, you still can't talk to Jane because she's just baffled by these roads. Like, did we just drive through there? Yes, we did. Like, really? Like that road 89 that goes around from Salt Lake City to Page, it is worth the money to drive it. I tell you, I never heard about this. I never seen it on YouTube videos or nothing. I've seen, the Bryce Canyon, that like Ray done a whole bunch of videos on Bryce Canyon and all that places, but he never on the road around it. So we get into this place. What was that place called? Maidstone? No. The little where Maple was swimming.
Oh, I can't tell.
But anyway, we go around and there's this little town. And I says, oh, it's got a rest area. So we pulled in there. and it's no overnight camping. So we let the dogs out and they're running around. And of course, I said, where the hell's Maple? Well, here's a little creek running through there, right? And there she is right in the bottom. And this water is crystal clear, like super, super crystal clear. And that dog is in there happier than a pig in shit and just running in the water and just having a great time. So we get up and we go. And so we keep going. I can't say that place where the Nana, Nanah, where they used to film all the cowboy movies down in just on north of the Grand Canyon. And so we get through this place, and it's just gorgeous. Like, it's right back into the 1800s, like these houses and everything, right? And so we get halfway between there and Page, and we find a spot to turn off the road, like BLM spot, right? Well, Al found it on freecampsites.net. And she says, yeah, it's about 23 miles out of Page, and it's on the north side. So I found it. So he parked it there for the night, and it was noisier than hell. But then about 11, it just quiet as a mouse. And we stayed there. Are you sure we're going to stay here? Yeah, I'm sure we're going to stay here. I'll guarantee you. And so it was just, it's like, it's really kind of fun to take people that have never done this before and get them through it. And they just looking at the other end, they said, we really went through that, did we? Yeah, you did. So anyway, we're going through. So we get down and we stayed that night there. And then we left yesterday and we went through Page. Well, if you've never been through Page, Arizona, that is worth the trip alone. Like all the different colored rocks and all that stuff. And it was just, and I could see, I said, Jane, how are you making out? Oh, just great. I says, you get lots of pictures? Oh, yeah. I set my camera up on the dash of the thing, and then I just click it as I go, right? She just clicks, it's got all kinds of pictures. So anyway, we get down through there, and we get, and he says, well, where are we going tonight? I says, we're going to Williams, Arizona. Williams, what's there? I says, BLM. Well, there's a campground there. I said, yeah, we don't go to the campground. We go across the road to the BLM, the 2-week stuff. So we go to this campground. And you know what it's like, Ron. We pull in there with the what the hell's a pine tree name? Ponderosa pines. And they're all over the place. And we pull up there. I said, okay, this is where we're staying the night. You're kidding, right? I said, no, I'm not kidding. This is free. I said, oh yeah, this is free. You can stay here for 14 days. Really, you can stay here for a lot longer. It's just that 14 days is the limit, but nobody comes and checks. So you could probably get away with a month or so. This is gorgeous. I said, I told you it was like Jasper, didn't I? Yeah. Well, there we are. We're in Jasper, Arizona. I says, this is just like, and this is free. I says, yes, it's free. So anyway, so we get, and like they were troopers. They just did an awesome job. Like she pulled that trailer through the mountains and everything and never had an issue and never had nothing. And Simone, she did a great job and trying to, she just had the van, but still, it's hard to keep 3 cars together or 3 vehicles together without getting spread out or something like that. But they did an awesome job. And then we get into, of course, they get into Williams, and we're sitting in Williams, and they say, well, where are we going tonight? I says, we're going to Blythe, California. Really? I says, yeah, California. Says, really? I said, yeah. So anyway, all the way down, we turned off Highway 40 onto 95 going to Lake Havasu. I said, okay, now I'm going to drive. We're not going to stop, but when I flash my 4-ways, this is all free BLM. You can stay here. I said, just look off the left-hand side all the way down. So, of course, my four-ways are on half the time down the road. And we stop. Says, you put your four-ways on a lot. I said, that's all free camping along that road. Well, you're right in Havasu. I says, yeah, you're right. And you can camp right inside Havasu on BLM land. That's the way it is. So yeah, so they had a great time with that one, and so I says, okay, now you can't go into California with any fruit because there's checkpoints. So I says, you got any fruit? Well, Simone says, I got some bananas. I said, yeah, sorry. So I said, okay, I'm going to show you a route that you can get into California where you don't have to go through a checkpoint. And the one is at Postum, Arizona. You go across on the Wilson Road and it brings you out on 95 on the California side. And there's no checkpoint because it's on Indian land, right? So we went through there. Then we get down to Blythe. And we didn't go into Blythe, so I went around like the north side of Blythe because you don't have to go right in town. And I said, okay, we'll go and go to the BLM, and of course we get here and I go see Byron, the guy that runs it, and he says, yeah, okay, I'll come and see you tomorrow. I said, okay, no problem. So we go and dump the tanks and all that stuff, and I bring him up where Gina was, because Gina met Jane at her house. We went down there in the summer and camped at Jane's, right? So she knew Gina. I said, okay. So I parked the truck here by Gina and I leveled it out. And they're both looking at me like funny. I'm thinking, what's the matter? Are we camping here? I says, yeah, matter of fact, we are. How long? I don't know, probably till April if you want. It's up to you. Right here. I says, yeah, right here. I said, all we have to do is pay the $180 for the season and we can stay here all winter long. We don't have to move. We don't have to do nothing. Right here looking at the mountains. I says, yeah. I said, look at the sunset. And it was one of them real gorgeous pinky orange sunsets. And we get to sit and watch that every night. I said, yeah, you pretty much have to do that all night. And you know, the best part about it, there's no damn snow shovels. That's the good part about it. So they all got down here and they're all safe and they're still shaking their heads saying, what? Because everybody says Canada and the United States are the same. It's about the same as Volkswagen and Cadillac, believe me. And see, in Canada, Jane had never done this. In Canada, you got to get campsites every night because it's not free stuff like down here. And I said when we left, I says I am not gonna spend a dime on a campsite from the time we leave. So of course they're all travelers, and there's no way this crazy bastard's gonna get us to California without spending any money. Well, we never spent a dime on a campsite. And I says, in Canada, you have to buy it all the time. So that's what they're used to. They go into a place, pay for a campsite and stay the night and carry on. That's the way they do it. Or go to a motel room or whatever. So for them to come from Canada down here without paying for a campsite or something, that's a major thing right alone. And then the other stupid thing was, remember we were talking about gas in Ontario and all that crap. I drove all the way from Alberta to Arizona for half of what it cost me to go to Ontario. Half. Friggin' half. It was unbelievable how much difference it was. I couldn't believe it. We were paying $170. Well, you got the conversion too, but $170 Canadian for a tank of gas to fill the Dodge. And the most I put in here, all the way down, was $85 and a tank. The most. And that's a lot of money. That's huge money.
Yeah. Well, sound like y'all had a good trip.
Yeah. Like even Jane put it on her. She was saying on the thing there how much it cost her. Like you think about that. She pulled a trailer all the way from Alberta into California for $900. And we were doing the speed limit too. Like, 55, 55, 58, somewhere around there. And yeah, like I can't say enough about it because the two girls, they did an awesome job. Like if I were to tell you they were greenhorns and never done it before, you would say, I don't think so. And they were just awesome. They were just friggin' awesome. You know, they did. They never had never no problems, no issues, no nothing, all the way down, which was and we need like I knew we had a 4 day window, but people don't really think when somebody says, "Okay, we got a 4 day window, let's get at it." They don't really think what he's talking about. Like we had the weather running for us. Like we left Canada, we were at -6 on Friday. On Saturday, it was +2, but it went down to -10 Celsius. So it was cool. But then we hit the Montana. It was warm. It was all warm. Like it was like I'd say 45, 50 degrees. But we never had no rain, we had no snow, we had no nothing, which was kind of good. So, but the big thing was
Well,
go ahead.
you got your shorts on.
What?
You got your short breeches on.
Yes, I got short breeches on. See? I got short breeches on. Yeah. I got shorts on. Of course I got shorts on. I'd have shorts on.
How damn cold is it?
It was, it was 74 here today. You know what that is? That's like 70 degrees warmer than it is in Canada.
That's when I take my windbreaker off.
Yeah. Well, no. That's when we put shorts on and put the snow shovel away. That's what we do. But no, it was a really cool trip. It was what do we? We took 7 days. They took 6 days. So 6 days. So or 5 days. So yeah, it was pretty good. I'd say, for having like I would
Friday
never
to Thursday.
believe, huh?
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
It's 6
Monday,
days.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. 70.
Yeah, 7
Six,
days for
7
us,
days.
6 for them.
Yeah.
And if I told you that Jane never drove a truck and trailer, you'd never believe it. Never in a million years. Never in a million years. Did an awesome job. Awesome job. I can't believe it.
First time I went to Quartzsite, I had that casita, and there were 2 couples and 3 single ladies that wanted to tag along. I told them, I said, I'm not guiding nobody, but if y'all
Yeah.
want to start a caravan, we'll do it. And Jane ought to be proud of herself. One of them gals, we pulled in and spent the night at Balmaray. And the next morning, she's messing around there and was hooking up real early before everybody else was. And I asked her, I said, what's the deal? And she said, I'm going home. I said, what do you mean you're going home? I said, this is the first day on the road.
Yeah.
She said, it is scaring me to death pulling that damn trailer. Said, I'm a damn nervous wreck. And she pulled that damn trailer back to Fort Worth and sold it the next day.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
that's what Jane was saying about Salt Lake City too, because I wasn't with her. I said, I'll tell you right now, Jane, you and Simone, when we hit Salt Lake City, I said, you just stick to my bumper like glue and don't worry about it. And we'll just shoo, right through. And we did. We never stopped. We filled up with gas before we got into Salt Lake City. And it was probably an hour and a little bit that we had to go through Salt Lake City. And we never had an issue. We never even had, we slowed down a little bit, like to about 30 mile an hour, and that was about it. And then it was a clear sound, but other than that, like there's no doubt about it. There's like you can't say enough about it that I'm really proud of them two girls because they did awesome and they never done this before. To go and like sleeping in a van or sleeping in a trailer and hauling the trailer down the road and you know getting into some of these gas stations and all that. Never had an issue. Like never had an issue. It's amazing. It's totally amazing. Like it was really cool. Because I'm the same as you. When people say, "Oh, I want to tag along," well, but the thing is, the problem that like me and Al talked about, of course, and the thing about it is that these people are wanting to go on the road. They want to go on the road, but they don't think they can do it when they really can. But if they go with somebody that's been there, like I've been on the road for what, 40 years, and Al's been on the road for 7 or 8 now, and it's not a big deal. And that's the problem we find is that the stuff that we forget and take for granted, they don't have a clue about it because they've never done it. You know, like when people see me and Al taking this trailer and say, okay, we're gonna get it ready to go and on the road, and we're ready to go in 15 minutes. Well, that's the stuff that people have to get used to, and they don't get used to it. But all in all, I should watch the comments again. But they just have to. I'm really proud of them. They did an awesome job. Did an awesome job. That's all. But yeah, it was a good trip. We never had no bad rain. We never had no snow. We didn't have no bad roads. Well, some of the roads are a little rough, but most of them are pretty good. But I'll tell you, if you guys want to go on a trip, you take that 89 around from Salt Lake City to Page and down to where do we get off that? Flagstaff. That's a pretty cool trip. That's a pretty cool trip.
I'm sitting here trying to think of how I used to go around Salt Lake. There was I could drop
Salt
down.
Lake, Salt Lake, you can get the problem with Salt Lake. You can get around Salt Lake City by going through what's it? Not place where just east of there on the mountain park or something. You can get around it. It's tough though, but Salt Lake City's not bad. The biggest I don't like the traffic in Salt Lake City, but to get through Salt Lake City, if you suck in the second lane, not the curb lane, but the second one in, you can usually fly right through without a problem. Usually, because you can't do the outside lane because that's that express one. So,
Well, that
yeah.
is, you're naming them names off, and I've been up through there 100 times, and that is sure some pretty country and pretty places, boy.
Oh yeah, like
That deal round Page is just awesome.
oh yeah, that's just crazy, and it's kind of funny because being from Canada, we take all this stuff very seriously because we don't have the options that you people got. Like you take for instance the trip around from Page to St. George. It's just we don't have that in Canada. We don't have that area. All you got is a little bit of peace between Jasper and Banff. That's it. And we don't have that vast. Like you got tons of like. That's why I'm a firm believer. Like even um, people from Canada, like we don't. The only reason we get out of Canada is for the cold weather. That's it. Because we don't really have to leave to get to see nice places because there's lots of places there, same as here. And like people to leave here to go somewhere else to see nice places. You don't need to do it because there's a lot of nice places here, and it's amazing just how much. Like that's what Jane and Simone thought too, was that all this stuff is free BLM. I says, yeah, that's all free BLM. Um, you can stay on it, and it's not a big issue. Not see, we don't have that in Canada. We don't have that BLM, so it's a whole different one, you know. And that's like Jane says, Utah is beautiful. Like, you know, Salt Lake City. If you think Utah is Salt Lake City, then you need to take and see. I'm a firm believer in U.S. routes. I believe in U.S. routes, and I proved that to Jane because we left on I-5 or on U.S. Route 87, and then we got onto I-15, and then we got back onto I-89, U.S. Route 89, and I see now you see because you don't see nothing on that. Like if you call yourself a traveler by running the interstates, you're not. You're just going from point A to point B. That's all you're doing. You're not seeing nothing. If you go into the U.S. routes and you go into the U.S. routes and travel, then you start seeing stuff like little towns and all that stuff. That's what we like to see, like to travel through. Like if I can get on a U.S. route, I'll take it before I take an interstate.
I love that area around Page and Show Low and just that whole area right through there.
It's just there's not enough you can say about the place, you know. Like even the stupid things it's I hate driving videos. I just hate them. But I should have turned the camera on and just taped Montana, where we came through Montana. It wasn't flat at all. It's like you get into places like Butte, Montana, and Helena, and Great Falls, and Dillon. It ain't too flat, but it's friggin' gorgeous. Like God, I tell you, it's friggin' gorgeous. You know.
Well, I tell you what, we were coming through. I think it was Butte. What's the town in the middle of Montana that's oh shit, I can't think of the name of it. Anyway, I came through
Billings?
Where?
Billings? Billings is on the outside.
Yeah.
Yeah. On the top of the hill?
Yeah. I was coming through there one day, and it was July the 4th, and it was sunshiny and pretty. And I was driving along, and all of a sudden, damn snowflakes that big around were hitting the damn windshield.
Yeah.
And it started snowing, and it snowed about 6 inches, about 50 miles. And then, I mean, it was a blizzard. And about 50 miles, and then hit the end of that, and it's bright sunshiny again, you know.
But
you don't never know what you're going to hit on the road.
You go, that's it. You know, like you say, oh, well, you know, take this road, you won't see, yeah, take this road, you won't see none. So I was bringing back a Renegade from from Bristol, Indiana, and I got it to Pembina. Well, we didn't have the paperwork in order because you got to have the company that owns it taking it across the border, right? So we didn't have the paperwork. I says, don't worry about it. Give me the paperwork in the morning, send it to Coots. I'll drive over to Coots from Winnipeg because that all day I'm not going to sit there and do nothing. So I said, I'll drive over to Coots. So I drive to Coots. Guess what day it was? July 4th. And on Highway 2 in Montana is higher than the rest of the state. And I seen the fireworks for 30 towns or so, all on that one road. It was so cool. Like, holy God, this is crazy. But yeah, because you're higher than everybody else, right? And it was kind of neat.
Did you ever run that road between Montana and Idaho? It's right on the border. It goes up and winds up. Winds up at Coeur d'Alene.
Yeah, number 2.
That is a pretty son of a gun. God
That's
Almighty.
that's one of my favorite roads. Me and Al love that road because we come down from Canada. Like if we come down through Paulus at Weyburn, we can hit 2 and go across Ontario. And when you get in on Michigan, they got all them national forests there, and it's all free. So, and it's just
He's talking Court Lane, Idaho.
Coeur d'Alene, Idaho.
That's where he's talking.
What, the one north and south? Is that the one
Yeah,
you're talking about? Oh, the north
yeah.
and south.
I'm talking north and south. One that runs right down the border between them.
Yeah,
No,
that
that's
was.
And
I
then
think it's
the first time I went through Coeur d'Alene up there,
Court
it
Lane.
was still pretty rusty, and man, it was beautiful through there.
it's beautiful.
The last time I went through there, it was getting built up, and there were houses everywhere, and it wasn't nothing like it had been 10 years before that.
Bonner's Ferry.
Yeah,
Too.
yeah, that's nice road. That's all down through there because you come down through Yak in Canada, and it comes into there and goes down through Spokane and all the way down. It's this gorgeous road. Like it's really good. And the good thing about that one, even in the winter, see, because it doesn't get that nasty because it's like a desert in that area by Spokane, and it's not that bad really in the wintertime. So
Well, there's a lot of pretty places. That's the one thing. If I I get lined out on some of these trips that I'm sort of planning up before pulling them trailers, you see a lot of country.
oh yeah, but you're moving.
Yeah, but I had a cab over camper on the back of it, and I didn't have to be back for 2 weeks. So
Yeah,
we camped in nearly every national park
yeah,
stuff there was, but still didn't spend a ton of time.
no.
And
That, that's why I like the U.S. routes more than the interstates are good if you want to make up time and just go because that's all it is. Like you get on the interstates and like Jane will tell you, I says I don't like the interstates because you get on the interstates and the everybody wants to push you to go faster, right? And you can't really slow down. Like you can come down to like 60, maybe 58. That's about it. That's all you can do because any more than that, and they'll push you right all the way to California. And like the thing about the interstates is that a lot of the big trucks are on it, and that's what they're for. That's what the interstate's for, is for the big trucks to make up time. And that's why I don't mind running the US routes off the beaten track. I don't mind that at all because most of them are really good shape. Like you take 89 coming out of Page, it's friggin' 2 lanes both ways almost.
yeah,
And it's really good road. It's really, really good road. Like it's not bad at all. But you're
yeah,
right. You get around Page and that, you can get a lot. Like we drove through there in a day, but you could spend months up there looking at that stuff. Like Lake Powell and all that stuff. You know, it's really something to see though.
well, I'm glad Roy's feeling better. That blood pressure he's showing tonight sounds a hell of a lot better than what it was.
He's in pretty rough shape, eh?
Yeah, damn blood pressure was. What was it, Roy? 175, and then the high number was 2 something, or right at 2.
Holy smokes. That's not good.
He said tonight it was 123 over 80. Well, that's about perfect.
Yeah. Jane was going on because all the roads we were going on were freshly paved, right? Said, look at that. They paved all the roads just for us. I don't think so. But okay, we'll take it and run. So, but they fixed a lot of roads. Like,
Roy said his blood pressure was 259 over 179.
That's not good, is it?
No.
No.
That's about 100 points too damn high on both of them.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I mentioned the other night that you were saying you got to come up and tell you the story. I'll tell you the story, but you gotta give Jane and Simone credit because they did an awesome job. Like, for take two greenhorns on a trip like that, and we weren't. I'll tell you, we weren't taking our time. We were moving along, and they did an awesome job. Awesome, like for I know Richard's just shitting razor blades back in Canada, but he's got to be pretty proud of her because she did an awesome job, like a totally awesome job, and to get all the equipment down without no damage or nothing. It's quite the undertaking, but she did an awesome job. I'm quite proud of her myself.
Well, it's like I told Jane a while ago, she's ruined now.
Yeah,
And
but
one
see,
trip like that's all it takes.
yeah, and that's what I told her. She's like, I says, like we'd been down here lots of times, so we got our what we do and all that stuff. I says, just go jump in the car. I said, I'm going to show you where Havasu is. I'm going to show you where Parker is, and I'll show you a route on the map to go. And you guys just head out someday and check it all out, and just like go over to Quartzsite with Roy and Becky and go check them out. I says, there's probably a whole bunch of hobos over there, anyway. You probably don't think you know them, but you do know them because you're talking to them on the thing all the time. Like um, it's really good if you can get the chance to go with somebody that's been there because
Oh, yeah.
it just takes all the headaches out of it, right? Like there's nothing worse than jumping in a car and say, okay, we're going to drive 2,900 miles and we have no idea how to get there or when. But well, they've been there, so they know exactly where to go. So it takes all that pressure off, which makes, and then that's way when they're driving down the road, they can pay attention to the outside more because they don't have to worry about watching GPS or looking at maps. They don't have to worry about it. So it's good that way. So
Well, I tell you what, that's one thing that I haven't learned yet is how to take it easy. I'm bad about getting in one and just setting a cruise and sitting up there 7, 8 hours.
yeah,
But I'm gonna have to sort of take it easy. If everything works out on going to Ironwood, I think I'm gonna. It's not with 900 something miles. I could drive it in a day, but
yeah. Why?
yeah. But I think I'm gonna try to take about 3 days.
I would just take 3 days or whatever, and just take I would even take the interstates. I would just go to the U.S. routes and go to because there's a lot of nice U.S. routes coming out of Texas. We were on a couple of them there, were just unbelievable.
Well, I'll probably take 10 going out there, 20 and 10. But the reason for that, they got these damn appointments of mine set up that I'm not going to be able to leave till the last day of January. And so that's just going to give me a little over 2 days to get out there.
Yeah, but even 2 days you can do it. We've done Texas to Quartzsite in 2 days, and it wasn't a big deal
No.
because where did we leave? Yeah, we were outside of Waco. Yeah, we were outside of Waco, and we went from Waco to Globe, and then Globe to Tucson. Yeah, so, but yeah, 3 days is 3 days because what 1,200 miles, right?
And
900.
so, yeah, 900 miles,
Yeah,
924 miles, I think it was.
yeah.
So
But
that's not bad. And if I know I'll have that surgery underneath my belt, so I may not be all that chipper on
well,
having the stamina. So I'm just if I feel like stopping, I'm stopping. To hell with it. I'll get there when I get there.
well, that's exactly what I thought too. It's really well, we'll leave here. We'll go to Dillon, Montana. From Dillon, Montana to here, and from there to there and there. but we never made them, right? But we stopped at other places that are different, and you get to pick up all these places. Like a whole bunch of Mavericks have showed up, and I'm pulling this Maverick, and the gas is about the same price, and they got a free sandy dump. I says, well, I'll take advantage of that one. The sandy dump anywhere from $10 to $15, right? So if you get a free one, you want to take that, right? Just like a free campsite. Okay, I'll take that one. So yeah, but I don't know. It is just
The last motorcycle trip I went on, I just call it "Go to you woe and woe to you go," and that's sort of the way I'm gonna come out there.
yeah. So, but yeah. So I guess we're stuck here for a couple of months. I guess.
Uh,
But no, you know how hard it was to drive through Havasu and not stop at In-N-Out Burger. That was a hard one, but we did it.
the last time I went on a trip, I went to Denver, and Denver is about 950 miles from Waco, and I crawled in the truck that morning and sort of headed south, and I pulled in my driveway that night about 10 o'clock, 10, 11 o'clock, I guess. They,
Yeah, you know,
but I'm
we
going to
don't
try
even think about it. I go into, I says, okay, we're going up to Camp 185. It's 300 miles north or 300 kilometers north of Fort Nelson. It's Fort 1200 and no 1130 kilometers one way. Drove it, what, 13 hours. Never thought nothing of it, but that's what you used to do.
yeah.
You know, and you never think about it. But now, and that's what Al mentioned that. He says, well, just stop. Where do you have to be? Oh,
Yeah, just find a
no,
place to
really.
pull it up. Hello, Miss Gina.
Oh,
Well,
Gina. Van Life of Gina. Look at that. She's even here. But yeah,
yeah,
it was
you
kind of it was kind of cool to see them come down and like this is um, a big thing to Jane and that because she'd never done it before, especially by herself. And then of course she has to send all these pictures back to Richard, and he's stuck in the cold north. So yeah, it's kind of nasty. But what you know you just got to do what you got to do. And
she
you
put in
know
text a while ago said her husband was so jealous he couldn't hardly stand it.
yeah, it's just I don't know. It's just it's kind of cool. She made it down with no issues, and she's doing really good on her own. I thought she was awesome myself. But
Well, I tell yeah, she ought to be proud of herself.
oh yeah, totally. Like man, oh man, getting into some of them gas stations, and then you know I'm whipping that trailer around like it's a Volkswagen. I says, Jane, don't worry about it. I've done this for a couple days, so you'll get it. Don't worry. But yeah, she's had you know.
Well, we all had to learn. We all had to make that trip just like Jane did.
Exactly. And
And
now,
I was
you know,
about,
like I said to her, I says, you know, the problem with this trip, Jane, is you're going to go up there. And I know for a fact, and the place is that where we seen along the area. I says, this is only like 8 hours from your house. No. I says, yeah, this is 8 hours from where you want to be, down through northern Montana and that. So, yeah. So it's but anyway, I just thought I'd get up and get in there. I just thought I'd get up and tell you what went on so you knew what went on. It was all good. And I'm so proud of them girls, and they just never had an issue. So it was pretty cool.
yeah, I tell you what, we was talking about Bob Wells the other day. That's the one thing he's done that I think is a good deal is he set them caravans up for people that are new and they can travel for the first trip for people that don't have somebody like me or you to have them. Them caravans are a good deal.
You know, everybody kicks the shit out of Bob Wells, you know, but the thing is that, you know, even because I know Bob, I mean, he's a friend of mine. I know him. And the the good thing about it is that those caravans are good for people because I know a lot of people that ran them, like Brian from Adventure Van Man. He ran them, and Randy and all them guys. And I know that they take these people that have no idea and they get them through it. The same as the way I did with Jane and Simone. The same thing. The same thing. You know, and I just think I think it's kind of cool. And it's too bad they didn't keep the caravans going. I think they should. It's just like the RTR. You know, all the hobos screwed up the RTR because it was the big meeting place for all the YouTubers, which I think Bob should have just cut the line and said no YouTubers and leave it at that. But all the YouTubers showed up and screwed it all up for everybody. But that's made the RTR was made for people that just got into it. That's the
Yeah.
idea for it. That was exactly the idea for it. Was that the newbies could come in and listen to people that knew what they were doing and learn from it. But now it's just a big get together, and I wish Bob would just cut to the chase and say no YouTubers allowed, no cameras, no nothing, and just leave it back. Just leave it back the way it should be. See, and that's why everybody gets at your case and says, "Well, why don't you go to the RTR?" It's not for me.
Mm.
I've been at this for 30 years. It's not for me. It's for people that just got into it. That's the idea behind the RTR. It's not for me to go there and say, "Oh yeah, you want to do a video with me?" That's not what it's for at all. It's for people that just got into it and they got the questions like, where can I get gas? Where can I park? Where can I do this? What can I do with this? How do I get my phone to work? And on and on. That's what it's for. It's not for guys like me and you. It's not, you know. But
Well, the only time I've been out there to quartzsite, the that was the year they still had the RTR out in the desert, and
yeah,
I think there was like 10,000 people there. And I pulled up in there and parked, and I stayed about 2 hours, walked around a little bit. I went back, got in my truck, and found some other place to go. I went to Dome Rock, I think,
yeah,
and
and that's the thing. Like, and I wish that the hobos and that would catch on to that because I feel sorry for the people that um, have never done it before and they're looking for information on how to do it. And all they got is a bunch of YouTubers trying to make videos on it and all that garbage. I don't like it, but I just think that they need to get it back to the road because right now it's what last year I don't think it was that bad, but the year before that was what like 10,000 people. It was just a
yeah.
big get together. That's all it was. That's all it was, and that's not the design of it.
Well, and
So
they started splitting off too that year. That was when one part didn't want no loud music, and another part was party,
yeah,
and
yeah,
they had some hassle.
yeah. It's just not. It's not what it's. That's not what Bob was trying to do, and I felt kind of sorry for him for that because instead of being the mean person and saying no, we're not having no YouTubers, then you know. But I wouldn't have a problem. No YouTubers. It's not a
Well,
problem.
you know, it's one that happens a lot when there's a
Yeah,
good deal sets up,
yeah.
and I hope that don't happen to Ironwood on them.
Now, see, the good thing about Ironwood that I noticed was that there's four of them that are running it. Tim or Greg, Steve, Marshall, and Ron sees America, and they keeping it pretty down basic, just like Lola did. Lola did the same thing. She kept it down, and Lola had the trick because she just get, okay, we're going to Abilene Park. Well, there's only can get 100 people in there, so that limits the thing, right? Mind you, a lot of the same ones went back, but that's all right. There's not a problem with that. Not all of them, but some do, and it's uh, it's just what you have to do, right? Because the biggest thing is people, and the worst part about it is that people are getting into the age like 45, 50. They want to get ready for when they're retiring, and if nobody shows them this stuff, like you think I fell off the turnip truck yesterday and knew all this stuff? No, it doesn't work that way, and you know that yourself, Ron. And that's where it's it's um it's people just have to do it. That's all I'm saying.
I have people ask me about the way I live, and I've sort of got this big trailer spotted, and then I camp off a motorcycle or out of that little trailer.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, that's the best setup. I've got a home base, and I go as long as I want to.
Yeah.
But so many of these people think that you just got to sell everything and jump right in the middle of that full time RVing, and
Yeah.
it's not for a lot of people.
No, and that's the thing. Like a lot of people think that you can sell everything off, and like it doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter. Like we did it for 5 years, and it wasn't a problem. But the problem is like especially in Canada, when you're living in an RV and it's 50 below, it's not fun. I don't care. You can call it free, cheap, and easy all you want. And it ain't neither in any of it all, right? And you know, it's just that's what you have to do. And if that's what you want to do, then do it. I haven't got a problem with that. But don't say that everybody can do it because that's not the case. Because you know, I could jump out of an airplane too, but not everybody else can.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. So
And I have jumped out of an airplane, and I probably won't ever do it again.
yeah. Well, I got a back to prove it. So it went out the other day. Man, that hurt. But see, the good part about it is that you go and you learn new shit every day. So I had my back. I took my back pills, and then Simone comes up. Oh, I got some stuff that's really good for that. I says, oh, it's kind of snake oil, is it? Yeah, but it works. So I tried it, and it worked. So it's all good. So you learn
Me,
something new every day.
me and Phil got to talking. I guess it was last night, and I got to thinking about some of the things that I've done. And I've always been bad about it. If I thought about doing something, I'd go to something I wanted to try. Well, I'd get into it pretty heavy, and we got to talking about bows and making bows and arrows and making kayaks and cab over campers and all kinds. I've done a lot of crap in my life, but I like the RVing for me. Being single is the best thing that I can do. I mean, it just fits me perfect, and a lot of people it wouldn't. Now, when I was married with two kids, it wouldn't fit at all.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's like the thing about it is that with the like I don't think it's really touchy groovy like everybody tries to make it out to. There's just as many weirdos out here as there is in the city. It's just the thing I find funny about it is though that you can live in the city, and I live in the city now, and you don't even know your neighbors or the guy across the street. But when you're out here with the hobos, you know every one of them. Like it's funny because we drive into the campground here, and I know what the 4 people here already. That they come here every year, so we show up every year, right? So it's like I wouldn't say it's a home gathering. It's just that we all come down here, so we just, we don't spend our lives together. We just, acquaintances. So
Well, you meet. It's just a friendlier group of folks
yeah,
on the whole. There's some assholes in it, but
yeah,
most of them pretty good folks.
yeah.
And the other thing that's sort of funny about the RVs, I'll sit there, and the first year I went out there, I was amazed because you'd see a $250,000, you know, motorhome, and beside that,
And,
you'd see a casita trailer, and on the other side of that, there was $1 million motorhome, and then there was somebody camping out of the back of a pickup, and there was a tent beside the truck. And it don't make a damn out there. It's sort of like the army. It's an equalizer, you know.
you know,
Everybody sort of gets along. Yeah,
but no, it's just it's kind of cool, especially because there's there's hobos and nomads, and then there's the Canadians, and the Canadians I don't really classify as hobos and nomads. It's just that we're just trying to outrun the weather. The same as the people in Montana, and like Terry and them that are down here. They We're just trying to outrun the cold weather. We're not really hobos or nomads. We're just trying to outrun the cold weather. That's all. And like I was talking to Dave Wanders in Tucson today, and Steve, and when you get older, you just get like I worked in this crap every day for 50 years and never had an issue. But I'll tell you, the last 5 or 6 years, it just goes right through me, just like goes right through me. It's just I can't even like I told Steve, I was wearing my insulated coveralls for the last 3 weeks everywhere I go because I just couldn't get warm. So when Al says, "You want to go south?" Okay, I'll go. Pick me. I'll drive.
that 3 years I spent up in Elkhart, I had all the damn cold, snow, and shit I ever wanted, and that's not very long.
Yeah, but oh geez, where's it? Oh, here, just a sec. I gotta get the snake oil for the Rocketeers. It's not a. I said snake oil. It's not really snake oil. It's just a. And guess what? It's made in Canada, believe it or not. Really thick, and it's all natural. It works really good. I'm surprised. I was really surprised it worked that good. Because I tried a lot of stuff and it wasn't that good, but it's pretty good. It worked really good. But
Well, we've been on here damn near 2 hours, so I guess
yeah,
it's about
I
yeah.
just thought I'd come up and tell you what went on because I know you're chomping at the bit to find out exactly what went on. But it was an awesome trip. It was almost a week for me and 6 days for the other people, and it was just awesome. We never had no issues, and we had a whole bunch of fun. We seen a whole bunch of cool places, and yeah, it was just a like I can't say how much. Like me and Al was really proud of Jane and Simone because they just for some people that never done it before they knocked it right out of the park. Like it is really cool,
We need to
because
find.
you know yourself this can go sideways real quick, and it was just perfect. Like it was
We
just
need to find a place to find some badges and give them two gals a badge for their first solo trip. All right, badge. I appreciate you coming.
okay, okay, buddy. We'll talk
All
to you
right,
later. Okay.
we'll see you. Hello, Lily T. Goodbye, Lily T. I appreciate all y'all coming in. I had a good time, and always do with this much. Jane, what you gonna do when you don't have to get up in the morning and drive? We'll see y'all tomorrow.